Hey everyone, so I'm out here at Newtown Battlefield State Park, and before we get started, let me show you this. Look at that view. Now I'm from Missouri, but back in 2012 I moved out here to New York State, and I lived out here for 5 years. I lived in Elmira, New York for 2 years, and then a small town, Waverly, New York for 1 year, and then I lived in Wellsburg, New York for the last 2 years before I moved back to Missouri. From the lookout up here, you can see Wellsburg, New York, right down there, that little village of Wellsburg, New York. And what's cool about Wellsburg is it sits right on the Pennsylvania-New York border. So everything from Wellsburg on up is all Pennsylvania that way. We are facing south right now. So all that back there is Pennsylvania. And then you got the little town of Wellsburg sitting right there next to the border. And that's where I lived. I lived right next to the Welcome to Pennsylvania sign. And there's a little dandy mini mart gas station that sits right on the border. And you got half the building on the New York side, half the building on the Pennsylvania side, and the gas pumps are on the Pennsylvania side. So you could go to that little mini mart and get cheap gas and cigarettes with the Pennsylvania prices, and then if you get grocery items, you get no sales tax on the New York side. So I lived right next to that dandy mini mart, so I was able to get my cheap gas and cigarettes and no tax on, you know, any grocery items that I got. I don't know if you can see that little bridge going right there, but the Chemung River runs right along the bottom of that hill, and that's where my wife and I were married. About 2 years before going back to Missouri, I met my wife online, and I flew to the Philippines to visit her. And then 10 months later, she flew into New York, and we lived down there in Wellsburg until we moved back to Missouri a year later. So while we're up here at the Newtown Battlefield State Park, I'm gonna take you to see some Indian cabins. And here are the Indian cabins. You can go inside them. And this used to be a lot nicer, but a lot of people come here and they tear things apart. But I think that's supposed to be like, you know, the bed area where they would sleep. And you got the fire pit there in the middle. Come over to the next one here. And this one's a little bit better. So this is still standing. And of course you still got the fire pit in the middle. And that's where the smoke would go out. You got the window there. And over here, I guess this is where they would all gather and just sit around the fire and tell stories and visit each other. And I'm sure this is all replicas, I wouldn't think that they were original cabins. Got another cabin over here. And this one's empty. And you got one more over here. And this one has a tree growing in it. I was out here the other day with my wife and son, and we walked in here, and my son, 6 years old, like, look, they got a Christmas tree. But I was thinking that maybe this used to be a table over here, and then that was the bed. But of course, it's all falling apart, or taken apart by tourists. But yeah, these are the Indian cabins. Nice little area to come hang out. They do have cabins that you can stay at in the park, but you can't come out here and camp. You can't have fires out here. And it looks like that nobody has had any fires. I'm sure they keep an eye on it and make sure people are not setting fires out here. But all the fire pits are clean. Looks like nothing's been burned. So that's a good sign that people are being respectful out here. But yeah, there it is. Indian cabins. Alright, last stop on this video. The Chemung River. And this spot right here is where my wife and I were married. Right next to this tree. So this was the background scenery. But it was November when we got married, so everything was dead. But we came out here the other day and took another photo with our son. My wife and I, we kayaked from Elmira all the way up there, and we came down and we got out right here. Anyway, that's all I wanted to show you today. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.